Good morning, Year 4. Happy Friday and welcome to Friday's maths lesson. So like with Thursdays, like yesterday, we're going to start with a quick math starter, some quick maths questions to warm up our brain. So get your pencil, get your paper, and I'll share my screen to show you your questions. I've given you a couple more today to challenge you. So, wow, sneak preview. Pause the video now to have a look at your quick maths questions. Welcome back. If you struggle with any of those questions, you can always email the Year 4 teachers, you can write a comment on the blog, or you can also talk to us in Google Classrooms. But here are your answers, so pause the video to mark your work, see how well you did. Brilliant, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure you've all done really, really well. So let's move on to our topic today. So we did column addition on Wednesday, and we did column subtraction yesterday on Thursday. So today we're going to be looking at column multiplication. But before we do that, we're going to look at some key vocabulary. So here is our equation. We've got 5 times 3. And we know that this symbol here means multiply or times. In this equation, the 5 and the 3 are factors. So these are numbers that we multiply in order to find the product. So the product is the total in the multiplication equation. And in this case, 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 and 3 are the factors, and 15 is the total, which is the product. So let's look at that using our column multiplication. So we need to find the product of the factors of 14 and 2. So we know we're going to be timesing together 14 and 2. I've set it out here like normal, like with our column addition and subtraction, making sure that my ones column is lined up neatly and my tens column is lined up neatly. I've already written in my place value columns, so you can do that too. So the first thing we do is we start, like with subtraction and addition, in our ones column, and we have a look and see that we need to times 4 by 2. So that's our first step. So 4 times 2 is 8. So when I found that out, I'm going to put my 8 underneath my ones column in my total area. Then I'm going to move on to my tens, and I need to times 1 times 2. Which is my second step. That should actually be a 2 there. Let me change that in a second. My mistake. So 1 times 2 is 2. If I can row properly. So we're going to put our 2 here. So we know that 14 times 2 is 28 because we worked it out. So now it's your turn to have a go. Hopefully your pen doesn't go weird on you like mine did. So grab your pen and paper and have a go at working out these equations. So pause the video now to have a go. Welcome back. Let's have a look at our answers. So here are your answers. So you can pause the video to check your work. Again, if you had any problems with those, don't hesitate to comment on the blog, send us an email, or talk to us in Google Classrooms. But hopefully they should have been quite straightforward, because you should all know your 3 times tables, 4 times tables, and 2 times tables. Now we're going to make it a little bit trickier. We're going to regroup, which means we need to spell wrong. We're going to regroup. So we need to find the product, find the total of the factors 25 and 3. So I've set it out similarly. I've put in my place value columns and I've lined them up neatly. So my ones are all in a line and my tens are. So step 1, we're going to look in our ones column, is to times 5 and 3 together. So 5 times 3 is 15. I know that from my times tables. With 15, I'm going to put my 5 under my ones, and I'm going to put the 1 here, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So that's how I'm going to set up my 15. Because I've done my ones column, I now need to move on to my tens. So I'm timesing my tens, which is 2 times 3. I'm going to write this down here, which I know is 6 for my times tables. I then need to add this 1 here to my total. So I'm adding 1, and 6 add 1 is 7. So that's what I'm going to place in here. So I now know that 25 times 3 is 75. So we've had to regroup because we had to move this 10, because we know that in 15 the 1 stands for tens, and the 5 is in our ones column. So we've had to move our 1 into the tens column. So here are some examples that I want you to pause the video again and have a try and see if you can do them. Welcome back, and here are your answers. So you can pause the video to have a check. If you struggle with any of those, please let us know, but hopefully you should have got okay with that. So we've done our 2-digit number equations because 24 has got 2 digits, 1 and 2. Let's make it a little bit harder by looking at some 3-digit numbers. So you can see 124 is a 3-digit number because we can count digits 1, 2, 3. So let me put in my place value column. So we've got our ones column here, our tens and our hundreds. So we're starting in our ones. So 4 times 2, I know, is 8. Then we're going to move on to my tens. So 2 times 2, I know, is 4. So putting that neatly under my tens column. And moving on to my hundreds, 1 times 2 is 2. So my answer is 248. So it's just as similar as the 2-digit number without regrouping. So you'd hopefully be able to get on quite well with those. Let's have a look at this equation now. So 0 times 5 is, I'm going to pause and see if anybody knows. And shout it out to me, is 0. Because remember, when we times any number by 0, it is always equals 0. So then we're going to move on to our tens column, and we're going to do 5 times 5 is 25. So when I look at the number 25, this 5 is going to stay in my tens column, but this 2 needs to go underneath my hundreds. So then we're going to move on to my hundreds equation. We're going to times 2 by 5, which is 10. And I need to add my 2 to it. So we're going to have 12. So 2 times 5 times 5 equals 10. Sorry, I'm writing very quickly. Add 2 equals 12. There we go. So I'm going to put my 2 from my 12 in here and my 1 under here. And then we're going to put my 1 in my thousands column because I don't have anything to multiply. So my answer should be 1,250. Again, like before, here are some examples for you to have a go at. So pause the video and have a go. Welcome back. Here are your answers. Check them and see how you did. So well done. I think you're all going to smash this lesson, and your to-dos are really similar to what we've been doing examples of in this lesson. So we've got some 2-digit numbers, and you also have some 3-digit equations. So I hope you enjoyed today's work, and I look forward to seeing all of your answers.